Life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. If it was fair, it would be easy. Some people are given advantages in life. Born into wealth, have financial stability, emotionally stable families, and safe environments to grow up in. We don't choose the cards we're dealt with. My dreams might be the exact same as someone else's. Yet what do they have over me that gets them from point A to B? Power, privileges, connections. The city they live in, the friends they know, the friends that their friends know. And it's so easy to get angry at this and how unfair someone else may have it compared to me. To feel powerless. I like to think of myself as a pretty peaceful and happy person, but what kind of human would I be if I didn't feel angry sometimes? Life isn't fair. It's unfair that I don't get someone to mother me and nurture me as I navigate my 20s. I'm on my own. I have to do it on my own. I can't help sometimes but feel that pang of jealousy / envy whenever my friends bring up what they did with their mom or their dad, and even hearing like my housemate being on the phone with her dad and her dad's giving her advice on things and her parents are advising her on what to do about certain situations and problems. There's always that, ouch, I wish I had that in my life. It's unfair that I'm afraid of allowing too much intimacy because my safety was compromised when I was younger. It's unfair the court system is broken, that my 18-year-old self deserved justice and she deserved better, yet years later I'm still fighting for her peace. I'm still fighting for my peace. It's unfair that a job I spent 3 years sacrificing so much of my lifetime and energy and resources on left me with nothing. It's unfair that I spent years nurturing, loving, and being a support system for someone only for them to not do the same. I am angry because I am heartbroken and I am hurting. Can I funnel these positive affirmations, these mindset shifts, these ways to overcome trauma and grief, these self-help books, these self-help gurus, self-help YouTube videos, self-help cards, self-help tea, self-help, 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 self-help. I've injected myself with these remedies to cope with it all. My whole entire life, an emotion I neglected was being angry. Growing up, a coping mechanism would be to throw myself into my work or studies. And anytime I felt hurt or rejected in the world, I was very passive about it. And that's carried straight into my 20s. Anytime I ever felt angry or hurt or in pain about things, I'd brush it off and I wouldn't tell anyone and I wouldn't feel like I could express it. I think a lot of people who know me personally perceive me as this very bright and bubbly, outward, extroverted person. And I guess when I say life is unfair, what I really mean to say is I wish someone asked me the right questions about how I was feeling. And I guess it doesn't make sense to me how I can go to my friends and I can laugh with them, yet I can't cry with them, and I can't pick up the phone whenever I'm having a downward spiral and talk to anyone. A lot of our generation were unable to express negative emotions like anger, and we're unable to talk about it in an open, safe space on a regular basis. And it's something that I can see I neglect with a lot of my friendships. I think a lot of people in this industry of creatives, of models, actors, and dancers, we're all caught up in our own world. I mean, for instance, look at me now. I'm caught up in my own world, in my own space. When really, what we really need is a place to heal and to be heard. And I guess in a way I want to be that space for others, but I get angry when I'm not provided that same space in return. And then a lot of the times I'm thinking, well, if I'm feeling this way and I'm thinking this way, I'm sure my friends are also feeling the same too. We just don't talk about it enough. Is it actually disrespectful to climb a tree though?
No.
Okay, just checking. I'm scared there's gonna be something like in that hole that's gonna like come out. I think I need a boost.
Kenzie, go on, help her.
Snakes live in trees. No. Ow, okay. Woo! Someone wanna join me? Okay.
What are you doing?
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's been a while. See, look at my injury.
This is higher than it looks, you do realize. What if I break something? Okay, that was actually really... The emotion of anger itself is something that isn't to be viewed as negative. It's something that we all genuinely feel in our lives, because if I didn't feel anger, I wouldn't be human. So I'll be angry because that is what also drives me. Life is unfair. It's not an opinion, it's a statement. You can't change it, and you just can't explain it. But if I'm going to skew to the world, I may as well work smarter and harder to prove that even though life is unfair, I'm not going to let that stop me from pursuing my dreams.
Brian Eno said, don't get a job. So he does a lot of lectures at art school for uni students. And what he says to them is don't get a job, because if you don't get the job, you're going to put all your time and energy into things that you're drawn to and more passionate about. But then you might not have that opportunity if you weren't working. It's stressful, like for financial stability and whatnot, but also that opens up different avenues for you to take, and it's a risk as well. Yeah.
I wish I started my own thing when I was in high school. Like, I wish someone told me, like, start a business now.
I always think,
you know, like,
yeah, I always think that.
Like, make what you love doing, keep building on it, because you can actually do that.
You gotta plant the seeds, water them.
Plant seeds. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
So true. And even for me, I'm still figuring out what I actually want to do.
Yeah, and you might not know, but there's resources there that you might dig up and go, oh, hang on, like this is something that I'm drawn to now. It might not be what I was drawn to, 3 years ago, but now you're like passionate about it. Yeah. As long as you got the passion for it, that's all you need.
Yeah, and it's like,
the rest
I know
comes
it's
later. Obviously there's hurdles along the way, but you've got to experience those hurdles.
Yeah.
And then like experiencing every part of the process that's involved with it. Rather than being like, for me, it's like when people are like, what's your 5-year plan with it? And I'm like, I don't know. But I'm just like, right now I just want to put together something, because I've just started. Like, and the things that you do now will replicate what happens later.
Yeah, so much later.
So I'm like, all right, I have to learn how to set up my sewing machine and actually learn how to use it rather than be fixated on the idea of having that. I've got to learn the basics first. I've got the frying pan, but now I need the ingredients and I need to know the method to like execute what I need to do.
There's just so many things that are happening outside these four walls of my apartment in the middle of the city. There's so much happening on the other side of the world. There's a literal genocide. And you think, oh no, I should be lucky that I get to live this life. And yes, 100% grateful that I can sit here comfortably in my own space. I have food in the fridge. I have a roof over my head. So it's like, you know, it could be worse. Something my dad would always say growing up was, it's not easy. He'd carry the groceries from the car and be like, it's not easy. He would be making dinner in the kitchen. It's not easy. He'd be having to drop us off to school. It's not easy. It's not easy. He was right. It's not easy. It's not easy having to figure out life, and it's not meant to be a walk in the park, even though a walk in the park helps. The positive way of looking at it is always like, well, if you didn't go through these things, it wouldn't make you into who you are as a person. But sometimes it's just hard to stay positive. Like, you can't just be delusional and keep telling yourself, oh, it's fine, it's good. Like, because in a way you're invalidating your own feelings, you're invalidating your own emotions. I haven't felt this upset at the world in a long, long time. Feeling these negative emotions right now, like I am, it's real. It's part of the human experience. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna invalidate my own feelings and always be like, oh, it's happy days, like think positive, because that doesn't work all the time. Like, there has to be days like this where you can feel so upset and angry at the world, and that's exactly how I feel right now. As I want to document my life, I need to also be documenting the bad experiences as well as the good. I just hope that for the rest of the year, that whatever happens and whatever is to come for you, you are making the most of every single day and being present in your own body and your own thoughts and accepting the bad days as well as the good. By next week, I'd say, I'm sure I'd be feeling a lot better. Who knows, I might be feeling better tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see.